Hmm. Okay, let's take a picture of this. So I thought they both had to be on echo canceling, but that's speaker and that's
Yeah.
microphone. So
This is brand new.
I
Shoot, can I? All right, gentlemen, we're gonna get started, please. Thank you. First, want to make sure that everybody has taken the opportunity to sign in on our sign-in sheet over there. If not, please make sure you do so before you leave, just so we can get an accurate accounting of everyone that's joining us tonight. Welcome to the Planning Commission meeting of South Weaver City. First on the agenda is going to be the Pledge of Allegiance, and it will actually be led by Christopher Roberts.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And then to start the meeting tonight, we're going to open up with public comments. And just as a few guidelines, we ask that each individual speak once for 3 minutes or less. Please do not make remarks from the audience. And you can state your name and city and then just direct your comments to the entire commission, knowing that we will not respond to anything. But if you do have any questions, we will be taking notes. So the time is now yours. You can step up to the podium.
I live the very first house right behind Fabric. So if you know me, I have been up here to speak before, very eagerly. And of course, you know, this quick trip that's going to be on the corner right next to my house, I'm very upset. I already deal with the light pollution, the trash and the noise, not only from the Maverick, which they made a bigger sign. So now it flashes 3 times more in my house than the one before. I also have that noise and light pollution and garbage from, I go to the car wash, those lights never go off. Rather, some days there are not, those lights are on all night long, flooding my house with lights. If you put this quick stop right next to that open field, right next to my house, that is going to be a nightmare. You are devaluing my property and my house. I do not appreciate it. And I can't, it doesn't serve a purpose. We already have the Maverick that does exactly the same thing. We don't need something that's 5 times bigger, bringing in big, large trucks, you know, that I have to listen to all night long. The lights from that facility will be like I'm in a stadium. It's not fair. It's not right. The constant noise, I just can't even imagine. I already hear the trucks, the ambulances, the motorcycles going up 89. That was my choice. That highway was there before. But it's going to be worse. This wasn't here when I moved in. Because I'll tell you what, if that was there when I was looking for a house, I wouldn't have bought that house. Nobody's going to buy that house for me now. You're living next to a truck stop. I can't even get the children that walk from the Maverick to take their trash home. They just throw it in those open fields. And I catch them all the time and they just don't care. You know, they just pick it up, go down a little and throw it. What do you think a truck stop's gonna do? It's gonna be, and nobody's cleaning that up. Nobody goes in these fields and cleans up all the trash. Not, you know, for people throwing it, not even, you know, the wind that comes through there that blows all that trash. Now you have, you know, kids and people just throwing their trash because they can. Nobody's there stopping them. Nobody told them. Nobody's cleaning it up. But I do because I have to live next door to it. So I'm the one cleaning up that trash. I don't really appreciate it. I don't appreciate children thinking, you know, that it's okay to trash, you know, the fields because, you know, they got their drink and their snack from the Maverick. Now I'm done. I don't want to walk with it all the way home. And they just dump it. I catch them all the time. I don't see why we can't put something more productive there that's not open on nights, not open on weekends, and the lights go off. There's not, this quick stop is way too big for the city. I know that you guys are trying to get revenue, but so far of all these other opportunities that you've done, I have not seen where that revenue has benefited me or the city. Every time I come up here, something bad happens to my property, I got parking lanes in front of my house. That one, nobody maintains. When there is snow, nobody plows that out. Nobody. That's the city's responsibility, not mine. But if I want to get into my property, I sure do. I have to take care of that. You can't even paint lines on the road. So now you want to get this big facility in here that nobody's gonna take care of, nobody's gonna maintain, who's gonna, it just becomes more and more and more, and I think this is not the right place for it. And you guys you're just not only destroying my home, but my sense of pride of living in the city. I used to love it here, and now I hate it. And I hate what you guys are doing to it.
Mitchell, 1923. Deer Run Drive. So I learned about this and I posted about it in a couple of Facebook groups, and there was over 60 comments saying, no way, don't want it. We already have Maverick, move along somewhere else. I hope and pray that some of those people made public comment that they emailed you. So I just have a couple of questions, and then I have a little data that I looked up. I'd like to know what the plan is for the traffic on 2700, because if you go in and out of Maverick on 2700, you wait forever to be able to turn into Maverick. If you're coming from the south, and then if you're going south, you wait forever to be able to turn on to 2700 to keep going. So putting this establishment with its entrance and exit off of 2700, if that's the way it's planned out, that's what it looked like to me by looking at the maps. I think is absolutely ridiculous. I love Maverick. I go there regularly. I'd like to get a punch card because I spend a lot of money there. But Maverick does have an entrance and an exit on South Weaver Drive. To my knowledge, this wouldn't. Everything would come in and out of 2700. Right now, that's only a 2-lane street. So if you're gonna widen it, then does that take away from the 4.9 acres that they've accounted for? So then would it decrease the size of what they're planning to put there, because you would take some of that road away? I don't understand the development at all. I don't understand how you're gonna account for all that traffic, especially large trucks. Let's see. And how they're gonna handle drop off and pick up at Highmark. So you guys are already aware of the development that's coming along next to the school. And if you've ever gone there during drop off or pickup, it's atrocious. It's already atrocious to be able to get in and out of that area. People are in the middle, they're turning around, they're doing all kinds of who knows what to get their kids. I understand. My kids all went to Highmark, loved it, but I did not love dropping off and picking up. So, and then there's plenty of kids that get dropped off and picked up at Maverick. So now are there going to be more kids crossing 2700 to get picked up at the gas station? I think that's a concern. And then what comes with it, with the safety? Like, are we increasing our police presence, which means that our taxes go up? So then my already high amount that I pay, when we moved to South Weaver, we paid like $68 a month on my city bill. It's now $172 a month. That's a huge increase. We've been here for 20 years. I don't see that I'm benefiting from paying that much, but it keeps growing. So who's going to pay for the extra police presence? Once they build their stuff and they pay their money, then they move on and the business keeps going. So I just want to know about that, because we still want to enjoy that area. And if it becomes like Layton, where they put all of the U-turns so you can go different directions, I avoid that area like the plague. I'm going to have to avoid 2700 like the plague. I think that as a planning commission and even the city council, when it gets that way, we don't have to give them a new CUP. We already have one. We don't have to change it. We can wait for something else to come to that area. I looked that up online, and AI says that the average quick trip locations, which have 16 pumps, They expect 4,100 to 4,700 daily trips. We're a small city. We have what, 7,000, 8,000 people that live here? So now we're expecting more people to come in. I know that a lot of South Weaver residents go to Maverick. So we want it to succeed. We want it to stay open. We want to support it. Now we're gonna have to divide that between two places because we want it to succeed. So then we've taken what Maverick gets, now we've divided that in half. And I did some math too. 4,100 trips for 16 pumps. If you divide that out, that's 256.25 trip visits a day. So times that by the 13 pumps that are expected, and you're looking at 31.25 trips. So Sabre Maverick already gets that now. Are they gonna both survive if they only get 1,500 trips? Or are people gonna be super loyal to Maverick because it came in and we love it and we want it here, so maybe they get 2,000 instead of their whatever, 4,000? We don't want this to be a blight. We want to have success. We want it to be supported, and we want to make sure that it's sustainable. That them being there is sustainable, because what happens if they close down in 10 years? And then we've got all these tanks in the ground that we've got to figure out what to do with, and all the other stuff that comes with it. My heart breaks for you. Oh my goodness, I wish you could move into my house. I'll sell it to you. Unless they get that road there, then I'm definitely going. But I think, we've got to consider the neighbors that live around this area. They bought their home, they built their home. They didn't have all of this to contend with. Just having Highmark there is enough to make you want to scratch your own eyes out. Like, I watched kids, we were at Maverick just the other night. It was like 10 o'clock, 10:30. And there's probably 8 kids that were in Maverick. And then they went behind Maverick to the car wash. And who knows what they were doing because it's not open, but they were playing around by the doors. And I'm thinking, I wouldn't want my kids over there at that time of night, but.
Amy, about 20 more seconds.
Okay, what are we gonna do if we let their truck stop? Thank you.
Thank you.
My name is Brad McDougall. I live at 2588 East, 8150 South. I also happen to be the director of real estate for Maverick and have been that for 20 years, so I have an understanding of how this all moves. My concerns are more from a residential, from a resident being here in South Weaver. I do recognize property rights, and there are, you guys will go through all the building issues, those types of things, and there's a CUP to deal with. But as from a residential standpoint and being living and driving the street every day multiple times, I am very concerned about the access and how it's drawn, and then also the medians and thinking through the effect of, medians are notorious for destroying snow plows. While 2,700 is fairly busy, I don't know that it's busy enough to control access the way this is drawn out. I do worry about the left-hand turn pockets and the way that it will restrict when you go down. The traffic impact study does talk about widening the road and creating a left-hand turn pocket, a straight turn pocket. And then also a right-hand turn pocket, which I think will help alleviate some of the pressure. But the way that median's set up, when you turn the left into the Maverick, I think it restricts the distance to where it's going to cause stacking issues still. I'm not particularly a fan of medians, and I know if you talk to UDOT, their recommendation is always to put medians in. That's the first thing they'll always say. I do worry about Morty's, and because we do shop there, and if you look at it, you go out there just about any time of the day and see the water and see where people are driving. This would restrict Morty's ability to do business. You can turn left in there coming down 2,700, but that does restrict that left movement back to the northbound traffic. They would have to cut down through the Maverick. They have an easement through Maverick, but customers would have to head back towards South Weaver Drive and get on South Weaver Drive. So I think that does impact that business as well. I was also concerned about the widening of South Weaver Drive. The impact study talks about waiting till a later date. That's an extreme cost to the city and what we have to do. I think if they widen that road and put that right center, it's going to impact that traffic. And I would recommend looking at redoing that whole intersection. That's a pretty good possible way to the future. I do think as you look up to the north, or sorry, to the south, that development is done. There's not much more that can develop out, so the traffic's not going to get worse on that road except for what comes to Quick Trip. So I think the major traffic is gonna be to the west as we improve some of these, as these subdivisions come in down to the west. So that signal's gonna get worse and worse. Or that intersection is gonna get worse and worse on South Beaver Drive. So I think it's smart to think through that and think about what is the impact that Quick Trip's gonna bring. And it's not uncommon for developments, especially us. I've done this for like a long time. We share most costs, so that burden can be put on the developer to put that whole signal in. So I share the same concerns as the residents. I think I'm a Maverick guy. I hope we can compete with these guys, and I hope you all come and shop us and not them. But I do also recognize there's property rights, and the seller here has a right to do what the city has built into their codes. But I would be very thoughtful about access. And we think about semis. This will change the flow of our store. Semis would go south. They would then turn into the gas station at the back and they would almost switch their flow, which then puts them back on the South Beaver Drive, where you have all the kids and cars and all the congestion. It would also then put them to the signal to turn left to the pits. So just when you think about the flow of traffic, I would sit down and really maybe draw it out and say, what is this going to do when you're driving the semi? If they go to the Quick Trip, what does it do? If they go to Maverick, what does it do? How do people flow? I told them my thoughts. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Okay, and I didn't make. I'm gonna make motion to close the public hearing.
We don't need a motion.
Oh, yeah, well, that's right, we don't. Okay, we're gonna close it.
You will on agenda item number 4.
Yep, on 4.
Yeah.
So with public comment now being closed, we're gonna continue on with our agenda. And right now we have a swearing in of our brand new commissioner, Brad Dopp, who is here for the first time tonight. And we would be swearing in Chad Scola, but he unfortunately is not here. Is he coming? Or okay, so unfortunately we'll have to catch him another time. So, all right, I'm gonna turn it over to you.
I'll make it before you follow along, and I will have you. Use your right hand. I state your name,
I, Brad Dopp,
having been elected to the office of planning commission member,
do solemnly swear that I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the state of Utah, and that I will discharge the duties of my office with fidelity.
thank you.
I'm okay with it. I know what I'm doing. All right. So first we're gonna go on to action items, the consent agenda from the December 11th, 2025 minutes. I believe, Chris, you're the only one that can really weigh in. Was there anything that you noticed? Oh, you weren't here. So I'm the only one
Yes.
that was here for that meeting. So, well, I did not have any noted issues for the minutes, on that one. So I guess, am I the only one that gets to approve it? Can I do that?
We can all.
Oh, you can still all vote,
Yeah.
even Brad? Officially?
Me and we both can do it.
Okay, then I'm just gonna ask for a vote. We're just adopting the minutes as written. Yeah,
I'll move to approve the consent agenda, December 11th, 2025, as presented.
and I will second.
We do all in favor.
And all in favor? Yes.
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 There we go. And I'd like to ask for a motion, moving on to the next item. We're gonna be having a public hearing for the fence code amendment. Can I get a motion?
All motion for the
Yeah,
fence
For
one.
public hearing.
Yeah, what am I doing here?
Just make a motion.
Motion to open the public hearing for the fence code amendment.
And this is gonna follow the same guidelines. If there's anyone with a public hearing, if you have anything that's specifically related to the fence code amendments, this is your chance to get up and say what you want to say.
You need a second on the motion?
Oh, I'll second. And seeing there's no comments on our, oh, you want to talk about our fence? Go for it. It's time is yours.
Okay, I was just chatting with Paul about this a little bit, and I live on a corner lot. And we put a new fence in, several years ago, and we wanted to bring it out a little bit further. But he was saying that it was recommending 40 feet from the corner into the, I don't know. I would like to just follow what most cities have, you know, I was looking it up, Springville has 30 feet, some have 20 feet. So, you know, in this city, we have tons of different fence options. Like there's vinyl, there's wood, there's chain link, there's, I don't know, poles. So how do we streamline things? Like what's gonna be the plan going forward? And how do you grandfather in homes that have been here forever? My home hasn't been here forever, but it's been here a long time. So how do you grandfather those things in? Because if you have an existing fence line and then you want to maybe extend it a little bit, is there some leeway there? Like, how's it gonna be enforced? And I want options, you know, and I want them to be similar options to other cities. I don't want to go crazy here. You know, I think 40 feet is a little excessive. I think, I'm sorry. Yeah, we can't put it 40 feet from the corner. I think that might be a little much. I think, you know, offering 20 feet or 30 feet is decent, so. Not ready for the folks, so I don't quite understand, I'm just giving you.
Thank you. Okay, any other comments? All right, I'm gonna ask for a motion to close public hearing.
Motion to close public hearing for the fence code amendment.
A second.
And then we're gonna move on to number
You-
5.
You need to vote.
Oh, yes, then, roll call vote.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
sorry.
We're just winging it, okay?
We're waiting it, and I'm discombobulated because I'm in the middle of everything. So I'm like
You're
waiting to
just
chat.
fine. You're just fine.
It's been a minute since I've been meeting. Okay, moving on to agenda item number 5, the fence code amendment, Title 10, Chapter 11, supplementary and qualifying regulations. And this is an amendment to regulate the fencing height and location in front yards. And I sometimes wish this would go before public hearings so people could kind of understand what was going on, but that's for future
I didn't interrupt you. I should have.
conversation.
Said we
So,
done an overview.
Okay.
and I want
We
to
have
turn
done
the
that in
time
the past.
over to Lance to go over
You scroll down a little.
Yeah.
Okay, so,
and address the one issue we talked about with the memo.
yeah, okay. So there is some leftover stuff from another memo in this staff report. Please disregard anything about storage containers.
Has nothing to do with
No matter how
this.
many times I take it, fix it, it shows back up again.
I'm gonna leave it.
So this amendment is simply we do not have a standard. Right now, you can put a 6-foot fence up to your front property line, enclose your front yard. That's very atypical for most cities. It creates but it hasn't been an issue, but we don't want it to become an issue. And so that's where this code amendment's coming from. If we allowed a solid 6-foot fence up to the sidewalk, usually it's back of sidewalk is the people's front property line, that would not be a very attractive city. It would not be a great neighborhood. There's a lot of aesthetic and safety issues to not do that. So this is just simply addressing that code. The proposal is to limit the fence in the front yard area, which is the distance between the front property line, which is typically in most places either back of curb or back of sidewalk, and in the front setback distance. So that would be the 25 feet for most of our residential zones. That is the front yard area. It goes from side to side, 25 feet back to the front property line. In that area, the change would be to only allow a 6-foot or 4-foot fence if it is where did language go? If it's 70 or 4 feet, if it's 50% open, in other words, the slats of the fence are only taking up, obviously it's every other You know, it's
Right on.
50% of that is wood. And then 3 feet if it's 75% open or opaque. Point being that it's a little shorter so that it has a little translucent if it's taller. So we still have that visual aspect. And we make a note. So that's the main purpose of this code amendment. We also note that we're not going to allow barbed wire, razor ribbon in residential areas. And that's just in case. I know, but just in case.
My landscaping plan.
To the public comment that was made about the 40-foot, that's not being amended. That is, unfortunately, I'm sorry for the confusion. That's in our current code. It's here listed because it's part of the section 1011.5, which is referring to fences. And it kind of does kick in. I think it might be misconstrued is what it's really saying. And that is that it shall be permitted according to which. So where it actually kicks in, where that 40 foot is measured from is if you're on a corner lot, if you extend a line into the intersection from both of the side streets from the property lines, it actually will be in the intersection a little bit. It's usually a little further in. And that's really the minimum and the standard practice for most cities. And that's called the clear vision zone. So the traffic, as it gets up to the front there, you can see over it. And it's purely a safety thing. And it's the way it's been in the city code for a while. So I'm sorry for the confusion on that.
And Lance, to clarify, this isn't going to impact anybody's existing fences. This is only new fencing, new construction.
Yep.
People that don't have yards fenced in, if they wanted to fence in, they would have to then follow this code.
Right.
So
But we're not going to go out. If your existing fence and you have whatever your
you're not
situation is
gonna
today,
make amendments. and revisions.
we're not going to go out and patrol that and make people fix their fences by any means. If they come in and they, I don't know. I can't imagine somebody doing anything significant enough to the front yard that would remove their fence. But fences would need to comply going forward from this time, not retroactively. So that would be good. I'm sorry, Paul. I don't. I think that was the other one. Yeah. South Weber doesn't have fencing permits, so we just if they're I don't know how we can make it more streamlined than that. It's you have to follow the code. We do get a lot of calls from fence companies. They know that it's an issue and they want to know what the standards are and they get it clarified. So that's where this would come from. So this would just help to clarify and really it's standard practice. I think everybody's following this code today, basically. We're just codifying it for those rare occasions where it might become an issue.
I didn't have any issues with it.
One question, only because it affects my house. My house faces east. My neighbor's corner house faces south. So his backyard is a 6-foot fence, but that's my front yard. So how do you?
Your front yard ends at your property line.
Okay, so if he puts a fence in his backyard, a 6-foot, that is the side of my front yard, that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I can't put it in, right?
Well, and then he's on a corner lot. So you have to look at the exact lot, but if he's on a corner lot, they really would have 2 front yards. Both streets would be the front yards. So it
Right.
would be back in.
Yes, and that is fine. But then if you keep going down the road, his backyard is fenced with a 6-foot fence.
We'll go all the way to the sidewalk.
Yes.
In the current, in South Weber's current code, yeah, we do allow that provision for it to come all the way out.
Okay.
Um,
I'm just saying
now it
my
I can
front
think of a
yard.
couple of examples where I'm
Yeah.
done.
I'm just saying my front yard is his backyard, so technically he can put a 6-foot fence in, but I can't on that side. Okay.
If I'm following you correctly, yeah, that sounds right.
Okay.
Maybe is it impacting site distances and turning?
It does. I mean,
It does?
It can, because when I back out my driveway, there's a 6-inch fence, 6-foot fence right there that I can't see.
If anybody's coming.
Yeah.
Well, I believe there's provisions in the code that would be, he would need to keep a clear vision zone from your driveway.
But that's a backyard. I'm just saying the backyard kind of, I don't know how that would work.
So you'd have two different, we've got the fence code here and then
Yes.
the clear vision
Okay.
zone. It's so two different codes. He has to comply with both. No, the fence code wouldn't change what he can do.
With the clear vision, might limit the height.
But the clear
Yeah.
vision probably would, so that you don't have that issue.
Okay. And we have multiples in my neighborhood that still the same thing. So that's why I was just
Okay.
curious.
We haven't changed anything with the clear vision code, so those requirements would still need to be in effect. This is just the fence height that's being addressed,
Yes.
so.
Okay. I mean, the fence I have no issues with. So it's, yeah, I guess it's two different topics. So.
We can take a
Brandon,
look at
else?
that later.
Okay, all right, then I'll ask for a motion on this one, on the fence code amendment. And we have our
Where are
handy
we?
dandy cheat sheet, which gives us options.
I move to recommend approval to the city council of the fence code amendment Title 10, Chapter 11, supplementary and qualifying regulations.
And I'll second that as long as it's with the corrections that we discussed.
We don't have any correct, we have corrections in the staff report
Yeah,
but we're not correcting the code.
that's it, just with the staff report only.
Well, but that,
Can I say that, or does it need to be said?
it doesn't need to be said.
Okay, then disregard, I'll take it as presented. Sorry, Michelle,
What you're adopting and motioning is the code.
the code.
You're changing the code. We don't care if the staff report's right.
Okay, roll,
To that.
are you good? Because we'll roll call vote. Roll call vote starting with Commissioner.
So,
Brennan?
Yes.
Is it yes?
Yes.
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 Yeah, I'm done. Okay, continuing to move on. Agenda item number 6 is the Quick Trip CUP and commercial site plan approval at approximately 7716 South, 2700 East, applicant Galloway and Company, and Quick Trip Corporation. First on this one, Lance, do you want to talk first, and then we'll give the developer a chance to come up and talk,
yes,
and then
but
we'll have our discussion?
I'll just do a quick overview because it's their application. I want them to present it. We
Perfect.
want them to present it. But it is, and it sounds like everybody here knows what it's about, 4.9 acres at the corner of 2700 East and South Weaver Drive. It was previously approved for the Young Automotive Service Center and associated automotive uses. And then also to the south a little bit on this property that they would be building on was the offices. Those are no longer in place if this gets approved. The Young application is expired, so they didn't do anything with that. It's expired, so they'd have to go back to square one.
Is that the same thing for the Skin Sculpt Professional Medical Buildings?
Yes, I think so. Because I mean, I'm not sure of the status if they're really still valid.
Okay.
It was kind of conceptual, I think. But that would all go away and be replaced by this application. So a little shift in use a little bit. Staff has gone through and reviewed all of our site plan ordinance and the conditional use. We look at the structures, the access points. There's been extensive work done on several back and forth discussions over the last several months on the traffic studies, what they say, what we can do. There's been several meetings with UDOT, what they want to do on the intersection. And just because that was kind of an issue, I'll just say that UDOT's like, we don't warrant it yet. We tried to get UDOT to chime in and maybe okay, now's the time, let's beef that intersection up. We don't warrant it. They don't have the money to do it. We are so low. Relatively speaking, the traffic issues here are very minor in UDOT's mind, so they are not going to have any funds for us. So we can't move forward with that. I mean, basically, I'll let the applicant speak to this more, but the traffic studies and whatnot don't warrant that there's a full change in the intersection. Even double lefts would just create more issues than it would actually help. That would be double left turns going west and turning south on 2700 South. So from a traffic standpoint, it's been very well vetted. The design that we have has a median in it so that the access points from the west side of the 2700, which are pretty close to the intersection already. And they have, I think there are some times when there's an issue. that median going in would actually prevent them from left turns going out of those western access points, Morty's and Maverick. And so they'd have to circle back into their sites, or if they came out, there'd be a right turn and have to go up 2,700 to do a U-turn. This is all part of the overall, in 2023, the city did a traffic master plan. 2,700, the section of 2,700 was studied in depth as part of that. And so we have a design of this road expanding. The design that we see is will be phase one of that anyway. The city has not had funds to implement it until this point. And so what Quick Trip's improvements would be doing would be matching what our future plans are. It would just be coming in sooner because of the use. And they would be making those changes. The site plan, the landscaping, the building architecture were all reviewed against the city's codes for, making sure those design principles are met, and the impacts are, minimized. And we believe it meets. Staff recommends approval with some modifications that are listed out in this the engineer's review. There's some technical issues that we need to iron out exactly, but the condition of approval that staff is recommending is that those items be addressed before the February 7th City Council meeting. So, and I think we're going to hear tonight that some of those have already been addressed. So that's, with that, staff is recommending approval. To the public comment that we heard earlier, this is an administrative item. Utah State Code doesn't, what we're looking at is, does this meet our code? It matches the zoning. It is a conditional use. There are site plan requirements. It addresses those. And so staff recommends approval of this.
Okay, can I ask to have the developer's representative? You want to take turns? Double up. It's however, just make sure to state your name. Clearly for the record. Michelle likes it if you need to spell a last name, please do.
All right. Hi guys, my name is Braxton Keith. It's spelled K-E-E. So, been great. I'm with Quick Trip. This is Spencer Hymas. He's with Galloway. He's our engineer on this project. I'm mainly up here just to introduce Quick Trip. We don't have any here in Utah. I just want to give you guys kind of background about our company, what we do, what we're all about. And I'll kind of turn it over to Galloway from then on, for them to speak more to the technical details of construction impact studies, engineering, all the nitty gritty that you guys are want to hear about. Anything else to add? No? Okay, so let's get started. So like I said before, I'm Braxton Key. I've been with Quick Trip since 2011. I started when I was 16 years old, worked my way up through the stores, all the way to this position now. That is something that Quick Trip really prides themselves on, giving everybody an opportunity to grow and succeed. So if we go to the slideshow real quick, go to the next slide. So I introduced one member of my team, Spencer Hymas with Galloway. We also have Brian Moran here in the back of the room. He's our traffic engineer with Galloway. We also have Reed Lambert, he's our attorney on this project. We have a couple other people, Jessica Gladys, she's the real estate manager on this project. And then we have another real estate project manager like me, Tara, she's also online and she can field any questions if you guys have anything else that she might be able to answer. As I said earlier, our core value at Quick Trip is, or our purpose is to provide opportunities for employees to grow and succeed. Our founder, Chester, once he removed himself from the stores, he said, if you're not taking care of the customers, you better be taking care of the people who are. And we still hold true to that today. We've been in this for over 70 years, and we still pride ourselves on taking care of our employees. Moving on to our core values. Our core values are to be the best. We focus long term. We do what's right for Quick Trip. We're never to be satisfied, and we also do the right thing. That's, do the right thing with our community, do the right thing in general. A few facts about Quick Trip. We have been on Fortune's list of 100 best companies to work for 15 times. We are perennially on the Forbes top 100 privately held companies list. We create an average of 20 jobs per location. That is initial job creation. Throughout the life of the store, most stores are open 20 to 40 years. We're generating about 300 to 400 positions through that because we provide opportunities to grow and succeed. Employees always are moving up the chain into new opportunities. So we're always backfilling their positions, moving people up. We've never laid off an employee in the history of our company. We really pride ourselves on that. Going on 70 years and we never have laid off employees, a real hallmark of our business. Our average salary for a store manager, which this is a full-time job, is Monday through Friday. They're every day benefits, they get 401k, they get stock plan, they get all kinds of bonuses, whether it be profit bonus, profit share. They also get incentivized bonuses. Like during COVID, we were giving out incentive bonuses for, kind of as a thank you to our employees for being in the stores. Those people are averaging about 110 per year in salary. And then, that fluctuates based off the bonuses and profitability of the store. Average starting pay for an entry-level assistant manager, again, is a full-time job. They're starting about 55 grand, so half of what store managers are making, but they are able to work their way up to that store manager position, which I was able to do that. I'm 16 years old, worked my way up, and then now I'm in the corporate office. Quick Trip is also contributing 5% of our profits to all the communities that we're in. The contributions kind of go to a board of employees in the community. They decide which nonprofits, which charities, which actual community needs need to be addressed with that profits. So to date, we're spending upwards of $50 million in local communities giving back. One of those ways is through National Safe Place. You guys might not know about National Safe Place organization, but it's a youth endangerment organization. If anybody comes into our store that's youth, that's endangered, they reach out to us, say, hey, I need a safe place. We put them in the back of our room, which is secured by badge only. Employees are the only ones that can get back there. We give them food, give them water, and then we call a representative from the National Safe Place organization. They come and take them to whether it be a shelter, a home, or to a safe place where they can get help and get the resources that are needed to help get them in a better place. Here's a few photos of our community outreach. We do all kinds of community outreach throughout the nation. On Monday, we're going to be doing the MLK Parade in Denver and several other communities across the country. As you can see in that picture at the bottom with the ice cream cone, that's a picture from a couple of years ago in Tulsa of us joining our MLK Parade. We also do Veterans Day parades. We do United Way Day of Caring. So we're always trying to get back to our communities. Move on. I'm going to get you guys a little bit hungry before I'm done here. We're going to show you some fresh food options. So we'll move on. Here's some of our fresh pastry options that we ship in daily. Moving on to our fresh made pizza. This is our breakfast pizza. One of my favorites from when I was in the stores. I probably shouldn't eat any more of it. Packed on a few more pounds because of this pizza, but it is absolutely to die for. And we're always coming up with new innovative ways to do food. Speaking of that, here's our new selections for our drinks. In the top left corner, it's cut off a little bit, but that's our crispy snacks. So we have, new crispy snacks. We have fried apple pie. We have chicken fingers, mozzarella sticks, waffle fries, all kinds of goodies that we can offer to our customers. And then here are some of our sandwich options. Again, everything is fresh made in our store. We can put it out. We put it out for sale in a cooler, or you can order it. It's made to order. We also have warmers you can grab and go if you're in a hurry. You don't want to wait for it. Moving on to our store design. Just give you a depiction of kind of what our store would look like at this location. So this is our building elevations. If we move on, we'll show you the canopy. This will be the gas canopy, this is the gas canopy elevation. Moving on, we have the diesel canopy elevation. Awesome. So you guys have any questions?
We will, but not.
Okay.
Yeah.
At the moment, nothing.
Awesome. Thank you so much for
One question, you said that none in Utah. Is this the first one in Utah then, or are you building multiple? Oh,
Is it under construction right now?
design.
What's the estimated completion date
Sometime in the summer.
Okay.
So we're hoping for June, July.
this year?
This year.
Okay.
So we'll see. Obviously, construction timelines are always moving, so it's a hard thing to pinpoint.
Perfect. Thank
You
you.
guys so much. I really do appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay, so, traffic.
One more.
Yeah, we can get to traffic. I'm Spencer Hymus. with
Engineer.
Galloway, representing the engineer. As we mentioned, we have worked tirelessly with staff to try to do everything that we can to make sure that we're being compliant with all of the rules and regulations that govern this property. We are doing our best to try to make sure that we're mitigating on the traffic. We do have Ryan Horan here with us today. He's our traffic expert. He's put together the traffic impact study. He can speak a little bit more about that. But as we mentioned, we're excited to be bringing this development to the community. We're excited about the prospect of developing and making that entrance to the city look a lot nicer. And just grateful for all of the help that staff has provided to us so far. Lance and Brandon Jones have been fantastic to work with, and just appreciate all of the help that they've provided. Thanks.
Thank you.
Like to hear from.
Sure thing.
Brian Rand, Brian and I. Lance actually did an excellent job of addressing some of the specifics and the process that this went through. And also appreciate the community's input on talking about some of the specific concerns, because we did go through an extensive process that did actually start with no median along our frontage. I think that any gas station convenience store would love to have access directly off the highway or directly off the state road. But really, 2700 is the only, appreciate, on the site plan, is really the only frontage that we can take access from. As Lance mentioned, there was a South Weaver Transportation Master Plan that was approved in 2023 that contemplated this median. So we actually, one of our first submissions didn't have it, because it's part of the master plan. And, in theory, if nobody ever came in, this median would be built because it's in the master plan. Since our development is coming in, we're providing this improvement to comply with that master plan. We've looked at versions of this where there is no median and accesses are moved. We've worked with both South Weaver staff and the South Weaver's third-party consultant to talk about, we've had other iterations where our accesses are moved. One thing that this plan does sort of future proofs 2700. So if and when the vacant site across the street develops, they'll have an opportunity to get full movement access across from ours, possibly giving cross access for the car wash, creating more circulation through this corridor. So I just want to assure commissioners, and if you have specific questions for me, that we have looked at this corridor and these intersections holistically, including other nearby developments and what the future of this area could look like, to one, always prioritizing safety first. I believe it was the Maverick gentleman that mentioned, you not just want to build medians. That's true because they're safer, and if you can restrict movements, it tends to be safer. So prioritizing safety, but then also trying to provide opportunities for our development and neighboring developments to get in and out of this area as efficiently as possible. The other thing I will mention, there was some research on traffic counts. We can chat numbers. One thing I will mention about fuel uses is they have a high percentage of pass-by trips. So these are trips that are already on the network that are stopping to get gas. They're not, regional draws and things like that. So not all, but the majority of traffic to these types of sites already exist on the network, and they are places of convenience store. So a lot of this traffic was already out there. These uses just sort of capture what is out there already. So I'm available for specific questions. I appreciate Commissioner's time.
Thank you very much, Brian. Okay, does anybody else from Quick Trip want to come up and talk, say anything? You guys are good? Legal counsel? He's like, I'm good. All right, so we're gonna kind of have our little commissioner discussion. If anybody has any pressing questions that they want to get out there, now is your chance. And if you want to call anybody back up, I will allow that just because I think where we're gonna get our most answer is gonna be from the people right here presenting tonight. So I'm gonna permit that as long as it stays respectful. Chris, do you have anything you want to start with? Do you want me to start?
I'll have you start. Yeah.
Okay. I will agree with my biggest concern is 2700. And that is my access route to my house. So I am up and down that road multiple times a day, multiple times with family, multiple times on my own. And that intersection already has issues just as it is right now without having a quick trick mart there, access into Maverick, access onto South Weaver Drive, into the car wash, all of it. So, and whether it be a big rig coming out, a truck with a trailer coming out of Maverick, there's a lot of, I don't know what the right word is, hinge points that become frustrating. Same thing coming off of South Weaver Drive, making a left-hand turn and trying to get through that turn with people then making right-hand turns into Maverick and the car wash and getting backed up. And then what happens? People slamming on brakes. I don't know if we've had any accidents. It would have been great if we could have had somebody from Davis County Sheriff here to kind of talk about any of the incidents that have happened just with Maverick and the current traffic pattern that they have right now. I have questions about the 3, and I believe, just correct me, there's 3 entrances, but one of them is being designated as an exit only. Is that correct? And is that or are any of them being designated as exit onlys for the entrances into Quick Trip? Are there 3?
And they're all entrances, yeah.
So if you want to go ahead, if that's the best route to go, or so looking at the drawing, I know this is going to be hard on the
Right side of the page.
yeah, right side of the page, which is the north,
Oh, she's in
or
right.
are we going south?
Is left.
Okay, so we'll do that. So that's your exit that's closest to your diesel, correct? Are those your diesel pumps?
On page right.
Yes.
Yes.
Point to it so we can see.
Well, I
where
can't.
it's
I'm gonna start. I'll do this.
You have a mic, grab this microphone.
I'll talk loud so everybody can hear me. So this is an entrance,
Full movement.
Full movement.
So entrance or exit.
entrance or exit,
Correct.
and then entrance or exit.
Yes, but right in, right out because of the median.
Because I was gonna say, how does that work when you have, like, there's no way you can go right in or right out? Has there been any discussion about making, because this entrance, I believe, is the one that aligns up with the Maverick shared car wash, or no?
So it doesn't.
You can
with
see it
the
right there.
median it's
Configuration?
offset a little bit.
So it's
Yes,
further
yes, in
down
your mind.
2700.
Yeah,
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Is this one? So that's Maverick.
and that's
And then it's car
intentional.
wash.
That's intentional because we want to put some separation from that entrance from the signal.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So that the signal can continue to operate efficiently.
Okay.
If there was no median there, we would want that to be aligned with Maverick because then there would be left outs that would conflict.
Okay.
We actually, regardless of if they're median or not, that would be right in, right out for us. So if there was no median, we would put in a pork chop. So it'd be restricted for us either way. So again, the median isn't something that this project, like, to be frank, wanted to do.
Mhm.
Our access configuration would be the same no matter what. Distances might be different just to improve safety. But this allows the best balance of separation between our accesses. The middle one is a line to help if and when the site across from us develops. And then the one furthest along lines up with the existing road. It was always contemplated as a full movement intersection there.
And that one lines up with 7800 South, correct? And that was where on the transportation maps, we had the roundabout that was proposed.
Is that where all the U-turns are?
That's what I'm wondering. Is that where, when people are now forced, because with the medians, unless they were to go up, enter in through the middle access and then flip around through Quick Mart to get back onto South Weaver Drive, your only other access, if you're leaving Maverick, is then to go back through the Maverick onto South Weaver Drive to continue east. Like, this congestion gives me heartburn.
Well, yeah, I agree. And one of the other concerns is like Maverick has a dump RV station that would have to come out to, not have to, but.
No, it does, because the way that those rigs are forced to dump, there's really not a clear path for them to then go back through Maverick. I mean, there is a way to do it. I've done it. I don't like it. So that's why we always just go straight through. But you're now forcing those rigs to go right and then up. And then where do they turn around at
That's,
if they need to get back onto South Weaver Drive?
So, yeah, we, like I mentioned before, we've looked at, a number of different configurations. We're trying to adhere to the master plan that shows this median in there and restricts that Maverick. So the restriction of the Maverick access is not a function of this project. It's a function of us complying with the master plan that was approved, South Weaver. But we have been working with, and we'll continue to work to city council. It's written in our conditions about continuing to explore what is the safest option first, and what also allows for all of these sites. So yes, to head back east or to get access to the signal, Maverick would have to, in some cases, use the access that they already have to get to the signal. When the site, so thinking in long range, again, trying to long range proof this, when the site across from us develops, there'll be interconnectivity to get down to that full movement. So there'll be even more sort of circulation across the street from us. I mean, that's one thing that we can do for aligning accesses, but the median is, you know, compliance with a plan that's already in place. It's not it doesn't benefit our site. It's not an impact of ours we're trying to mitigate.
When I was going to say the medians was part of that approved 2023, because I don't remember us ever, I mean, there was obvious talk about widening 2700, but as far as placing medians for turns and things like that, was that ever something that was designated on the transportation maps?
I believe so. I think that is what this layout with the medians and preventing those left turns coming out is the long-term traffic plan.
but is that with the roundabout though?
With the roundabout.
With the roundabout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess, has that been part of the conversation in designing this and it's putting in that roundabout? Because from what I recall, and this is obviously not a plan that you guys presented, but when we previously had the medical buildings and the quick lube oil change, that roundabout was designated and you could see exactly the impacts to the property. Because that's another concern, is that on this, with not seeing that roundabout and the use, roundabouts take up a lot of property. Just will you agree on that? It's not here. So how is that matching our future transportation
So
maps?
that the right of way is preserved in this plat.
Okay,
So you can't really see it on this drawing, but
is there a
the
drawing that
actual
shows
property
it?
lines, there is room for the roundabout there.
Okay.
The only thing is, it's not going to be built with this project.
When does that get built?
Right now, it is staff's opinion, and I wish Brandon was here to better articulate this. Believe me, but it's staff's opinion that it functions now,
Okay,
and it will function with Quick Trip going in there as well. The roundabout was not warranted at this time, but it is something that can happen down the road.
because
And
my
as soon as, sure.
is obviously when properties go in and developments go in, that is our one chance to get the development impact fees collected. And if you're saying now that it's not warranted, at what point does it become warranted? When the one remaining lot parcel gets sold and developed, is that when it now becomes warranted? And in the meantime, what traffic impacts are we now having to deal with? And it's going to be a nightmare. I'm sorry. I just am not looking forward to it. It is what it is, but this road being our only access, and obviously the only access that you have, because from the sound of it, UDOT has no buy-in. They don't care. Is that a correct summarization of what you were saying about UDOT? Is they don't care what we do because it doesn't affect South Weaver
They
Drive.
certainly care what we do, and they care about the intersection. They're just don't feel that the traffic at the intersection warrants them moving it up their priority list. I think is an accurate summation of what they're
In terms of addressing
Correct me if
turning
I'm wrong,
lanes and
guys.
things like that. Is that kind of a fair
So two different, jurisdictions, talking about the future roundabout, South Weaver's jurisdiction.
Mhm.
It needs to meet certain volume thresholds to be warranted to go in. Like you don't put in a signal or a roundabout or something like that if the volumes aren't warranted, because you end up, with a maintenance challenge and, it has its own problems. The UDOT conversation, they certainly care, and we've had conversations with UDOT. It's more related to the any future dual westbound lefts. So there was a comment or two about 2700 being 4 lanes at some point. So if there's dual lefts onto it, you would need the 2 receiving lanes and get you to that 4-lane section. The conversation, UDOT also takes a stance of they don't want to build improvements until they're warranted. Because again, maintenance and then, the signal. The other challenge with kind of going back to the roundabout is, so we're preserving the right of way. You can see kind of how the flares are bigger.
Will you shift the screen up a little bit so you can see the road?
Just a little bit.
Sorry.
So
It's not wanting to do it.
we kind of set our curb and the flares. So you can kind of picture like a roundabout on our side. That right of way and those flares don't exist across the street on those other property owners' sites. So your speculation might be right, that when the site across develops, then that right of way might be available. That might be at a time when the volumes would warrant it. So it's reasonable that that might be the time to build it when the property across the street develops, because you have both the volume and the constructability.
And on the roundabout, Lance, did you say they're gonna do the roundabout? Is this on the 7800? Oh, what?
Because that is 4 lanes there, and right now it's 2.
I'm just,
I also want to speak to our development wasn't triggered immediately, Texas was triggered with new development.
Mhm.
So regardless, this would be the configuration.
For the road.
In that road until, as he said, until the threshold was met by to warn around.
I'm playing the devil's advocate by brain right now. Obviously this going in will up the traffic count, so it probably will get us closer to whatever threshold it is that UDOT has, but is it the right way to go about getting there? Sorry, devil's playing in my head,
so Lance, did you say that where the roundabout could possibly be, the 7800, and then that far entrance would be right there, potentially?
So the roundabout in the 2700 plan
Yeah.
would be at that intersection.
And right now, you're saying there's enough room as
when,
is.
When the property that this is going on was platted, Crosswind Sub was platted, we acquired the right of way we needed to make that
Oh,
roundabout.
okay, I
the
see what
right
you're saying.
size. So
Okay.
you can't really see it here again on the property lines, but it's pulled back.
Not much room.
Where their curb there is right at the edge of their property line at their
because it
entrance.
takes this,
Okay,
a
that-
portion of this, and it takes a portion right in front of where the Eddings property is, unfortunately. There's sidewalks or no sidewalks along 2700 on the east or
Yeah.
west side of the development? No, it's west.
Oh, west side of development, yes.
Yeah, west side of the development, east side of 2700. Are there sidewalks platted? Because it's hard to tell.
Going from the Quick Trip entrances,
Uh-huh.
proposed Quick Trip entrances, south, yes,
Okay,
correct? So yes, on there, but not going up to the intersection. There's no place for people to walk going to the north on the east side of 2700. So there wouldn't be sidewalk put in there, but it would be going south.
because if there's no pedestrian crossings that would then be going from the corner across, heading towards Maverick, why would there need to be sidewalks? Because what sidewalk pedestrian traffic are you thinking is going to be happening there?
I believe it would be for future, well, there is the potential coming from the neighborhood, somebody crossing over higher up,
Because are there
further to
going to
the
be
south.
crosswalks then that we now have crossings? And to the point and the question about Highmark, my kids went to Highmark. I dealt with that nonsense. They've graduated. They're no longer there. It's still a nightmare. But parents, and we have families that come from outside of South Weaver, they don't all live here, but they do look for the easy routes. They look for the places to drop their kids off and then have them walk to the school. That's a valid concern, having kids dropped off now at a Quick Mart and now having to cross 2700 plus in front of the Maverick with their entrances and then getting to Highmark and then reverse in the afternoon when they're being picked up, because it is a nightmare to try to pick up in the Highmark Charter School. And I do see you, just give us a minute. Okay.
Well, there'd be no sidewalks here, so
No, that's what they said. There's
And that-
sidewalks here,
No,
there's
there's not.
sidewalks here, and there's
From-
sidewalks here.
from here, he's saying it starts here.
No, but
It's
it's
actually showing.
I know, but I didn't think so.
There's sidewalks, there's sidewalks
Correct me if I'm wrong.
proposed along our entire line.
Mhm.
We're also proposing a crosswalk to say like, if you wanted to, at the signal, wanted to
I
get
was
to the
trying to-
Maverick.
get the Maverick.
And
There's a
an
sidewalk.
existing crosswalk north from the Maverick. So
There's not one on the, and here's the hard part. There is one crosswalk, but it's on the Maverick
Correct.
side across over to the Burley Burger and the therapy session. And then there's one that goes on to the other side, but that's it. There's not a crosswalk on that east or that south side.
Correct.
And thank heavens, because they probably get hit because people don't pay attention on that intersection anyways.
So we're providing sidewalks along our frontage and then the crosswalk. We don't want, have pedestrians cross to walk over there. Where to go? Not allowed.
Because that's another thing that I do feel like UDOT needs to be involved in, because if there is going to be that active crosswalk there, that also becomes a delay in the cross or in the patterns, the traffic patterns and the turn signals, because now you can't have, when you have, westbound traffic that is wanting to go through the intersection or make turns, you are having to completely stop all traffic just to allow for pedestrian crossing there. And again, what are the delays? This is another concern I had, was the delays now with loading. And are we going to potentially be risking traffic backing up into the area, potentially over the bridge? Has that been sufficiently looked into? And vice versa, people trying to exit South Weaver, heading eastbound, how far back do we now back traffic up with that delay in the turn cycles for getting people onto 2700 and off? It's a concern. I'm throwing it out there.
So I have a couple of questions. I don't think I'm fully understanding this correctly, but so the roundabout we're proposing that will be put in once it meets, we have to hit a certain threshold before the roundabout's done, or okay. I don't see this working at all. Just if you're coming from 89 and you're heading west on South Weaver Drive, and the ones that'll be the semis and things that'll be going into the Maverick, the majority of those, from what I've noticed, will be coming in from the west, turning into Maverick, heading south, and then they're going to have to come out to where these, is the way I'm understanding it, they'll come out to these medians and have to take the right. So if we have to wait for the threshold of enough people, enough traffic before we get the roundabout, that's total chaos, I think, in my opinion.
When a semi and a roundabout don't really go well.
It just the whole thing seems very chaotic to me.
I just had a second
It just doesn't
camper.
flow at all in my brain.
I agree.
It's supposed to be right.
Right there. Where they turn down the.
I think the transportation master plan, and I'm sorry, I misspoke on the sidewalks. I got that backwards. But the transportation master plan does not contemplate that Maverick will continue to use this access for semis.
Mhm.
They're going to go back out to South Weaver Drive. It will not take semis long to learn. Oh, don't go that way, go the other way. And I think, anyway, that the access is to South Weaver Drive from Maverick. That's where the semis will be going. That's where the traffic will work. And if not, then yes, then it would come up and the roundabout would be warranted sooner. But I don't think that we're going to get a lot of trucks that are going to turn right out of there. It will be a learning curve. Sorry?
They won't come anymore.
But don't
They just-
trailers.
Correct.
So now we've taken the business that does come and we've cut it off because they can't go there anymore.
And I think the hard part, and I apologize, I can't have you guys comment from the,
Yeah.
I know, sorry. The hardest part too is that it's not just the fuel trucks and the trailers, it's the campers. especially for Maverick. Especially when weather's warm, that thing is constantly 5 to 7 trailers deep waiting to dump consistently. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, people getting ready to go on the road. Like that is a constant there. I don't know if anybody is okay. There's other concerns I have that I just want to get out there for right now.
Yeah.
This is going specifically to the quick stop and the queuing of the larger trucks, because you have 5, is this correct? 5 diesel lanes, 4 diesel lanes. So that right now is twice what we have currently at Maverick. Just putting it out there. I don't know if there was any conversation about maybe reducing that down to 3 and still making it viable for you guys, just because again, it's the number of trucks and it's the number of what happens when you have one at the station and the public fueling, you have one queued up behind it. And how does that traffic flow get impacted by now people trying to come up and potentially right-hand turning, having to turn through your project and then getting back onto 2700 northbound to get back onto South Weaver Drive. That's just, it's a
Well,
potential.
And I will point out, so there's a bar right in front of those diesel pumps. If you can see it in the line.
There's a lot of.
Okay, here, I'll point it out. I'll walk up there. There's this bar, we call this a stop bar, where they will finish fueling and pull out here, so that queuing does not happen behind us.
Okay.
But also the reasoning for the 4 MPDs, or the 4 fueling positions, there is to also mitigate as much stacking as possible, since we do have such a tight entrance there, because like you said, if we had 3, I can only imagine multiple stacking happening at that entrance.
So the 4 is
So
what
the
allows
doors
you to
that
prevent
mitigate
the
that,
stacking.
Yeah, and then there's also gonna be room, that 20-foot room on the far right side, so they can get around.
And is the intention to have them then take that middle exit
Yes.
and then exit through there?
Yes, they will not be, it will not be conducive to any truck, RV, trailer to go out that front entrance, because it'll be right out and it'll be too narrow for any of them to make any sort of turn, especially if other traffic is coming inside.
Would it be unrealistic to have that first entrance then, that's, I guess, aligns more with the regular pumps and where the storefront is, to have that be an exit only and not even have any traffic turning in? Like at this point, I feel anybody that's going to be coming down South or 2700 northbound turning in, they now have past 1 and number 2 options to go inside. Do they need a third?
So with it being an exit only, that might encourage truck traffic to end up going through a lot, going out that exit.
Okay.
Yeah. And
So we don't want that.
with it being a right in, right out, this also helps mitigate any interaction between trucks and vehicle traffic.
Okay.
So we're trying to encourage as many vehicles to go in that are gonna go into our store, into our gas pumps. I will say that a majority of our customer base does physically come into the store. So we track about 7 out of 10 of our customers come inside, and are not going for a fueling option, they're going for a convenient option. So
Okay.
food, drink, snack. And so we're trying to keep that traffic out of the way of any semi-traffic or any RV traffic or any big traffic that doesn't need to interact. Obviously, there will be some interactions, but people do learn and eventually will figure out, oh, I should go in that next entrance, not in this one right
It only takes once, right?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah,
Appreciate
of
that.
course.
One other thing I want to throw out, signage. I know that's one of the things. I don't see anything that was in the packet that was presented about the signage. Oh, thank you. Is that sign, that the permitted signs and lightings, is that the same, the class 5, the same size as what we have with Maverick currently?
Yes.
So, and given the comments about the brightness, the flashings of lights and things like that, is there anything that can be done to address that? Or is that just what's permitted? And where is the sign location going to be? Because obviously the intention of a sign is to draw traffic and let people know you're there. Where is it planning on being placed?
Leave that one up.
Closer to Eddings or?
Yeah, I think that's right.
Oh, you want it on the site plan?
Yeah,
Sorry.
well, that way they can see where it is.
So it's right, it's closest to the 7800.
Yeah.
Can you move it?
So, yeah.
Does everybody kind of see where he was pointing at? No.
It's. They want white, Cindra.
Oh, yeah.
There's.
You know this one right here, right? It's high rise full sign.
Yeah.
And then is this a sign here?
Yes. Second.
And that's a lower
Yeah, it'll be a monument. sign.
monument
Yeah.
sign, kind of closer to the ground, not on a pedestal.
It'll be our standard. Yeah,
Okay.
all of our- yeah.
I'm gonna tell you right now, where that sign is currently being recommended, I'm not okay with it, and I would make that a condition for approval to move it. Because the impacts, and it's not just on the Eddings, it's on,
Which side?
so it's the one that would be the first one we pointed out, that is right at the entrance to where our residences
Yeah.
start. And that, how tall is it?
It doesn't say, but the square footage is too big.
Yeah,
compared to-
and if it's the same height, assuming similar to where the Maverick is at, that's a no for me. And, you know, it's probably one of the few things I can put a condition on, because, and just to explain to the crowd, with it being administrative, it's not our right to say no, because it's a use that is permitted in the zone. It's a use that is allowed in our code. The only thing we can really do is put conditions on it according to safety, according to impacts to the neighborhood.
Change the- Matt had the same, change the code so they can get bigger signs.
We haven't changed anything with
Yeah.
the codes and the signage that
I've been
I'm aware of.
So much,
So,
it's not even. funny.
and
So-
trust me, I personally, as a citizen, feel for what you're going through, because I know where you live and I know the impacts. And you're going to be hit from all sides, not only from this development, but when the land right across from you gets hit. And I wish I could say that I could change it, but we have to, as a commission, follow the code. That we're not here to change it right now. That's not the request. It's not a rezone. Yeah.
So-
Don't argue.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah, and
Too close.
And on that, this planning commission is here to recommend
It's
for
just a
city
recommendation.
council. We do not make changes here as a planning commission. We will make recommendations, but we do not decide what is going to happen. So we recommend anyone who's here to also go to city council and share your opinions, because those.
That's your recommended official. We're just a nominated body. We're not here to change anything. And I did want to give you, because I know you were waiting patiently, I'm going to give you 1 minute if you want to get up and make the comment or ask the question that you had.
There's on 78 herself, which is that corner and a roundabout. I want to point out, I don't know if you guys realize this, and it's a small thing, but that's also a bus stop for all 3 levels of school. So you're gonna have to move that, because that's not gonna be safe, you know, for the bus to now stop all of this traffic for these kids. Especially when you get the little kids, and not too many high school kids anymore that get on the bus that are, you know, riding. But when you get to the middle school, and especially the elementary school, that's gonna be an issue for them to be dropped off right there. So you're gonna have to change the bus route, I'm sure. You're not gonna leave it like that. But that's just something I wanted to remind you guys, that is happening. And that also becomes a safety issue. Because those kids, they're gonna wanna go right across the street when they get off that bus and get a drink or a snack or whatever. And if there's not, you know, there's things in place for their safety. It's gonna be one big mess, because they're not gonna win against a truck.
Thank you for bringing that. That's actually, Lance, on that bus, is that something that we've reached out to Davis County to discuss the bus routes and the drop-offs and the potential impacts at all?
No, we have not.
No? Okay.
I think there's a lot of concerns. One of them, can we pull up that landscape map?
I do want to address this sign comment earlier.
Okay.
We were willing to work with staff, you know, wherever you want it. But in the packet, it did say that it was acceptable, so.
Okay.
I just wanted to point that out, but we are more than willing to be good stewards. We want to be part of the community. We don't want to cause any strife.
Based on the memorandum that was in the packet, one of the concerns is, 2 of them is the north side is not being addressed of what will go here. Maybe it says native seed. So we'd want to figure out what's going there on South Weaver Drive.
Isn't that UDOT?
I think it's your guys' property, right? Or is that UDOT? I think you guys just can't.
It's what goes along South Weaver Drive on the north side, the
Yeah, so
entire
we-
north side.
We're definitely open to getting that all improved. We have talked to staff about that. And we can definitely get the plan updated. We just need to work with the owners of the easements that run through there and make sure that whatever we do design in those locations aren't in conflict with the way of pipelines that run through there and it's associated with it.
Because that's the 3 pipelines, correct?
Oh, yes. So we will be coordinating with them to make sure that they are in approval of the design that we put forward. That just has not been completed yet, and so we didn't want to showcase anything that wasn't permitted by them at that time. But we'll continue to work with them to get that sorted out and have something presented as we move forward to staff. Yeah. So,
The engineering report does say that the native seed is proposed, I believe, in this location. And they recommend, and we're recommending rock mulch, something. Unfortunately, we can't put trees and that type of thing over those easements, so.
I would say because of the
There's a limitation
pipelines.
there.
Yeah, I was gonna say we can't put anything that's like planted or landscaped.
And then what do you know what you're doing on for fence wise around the perimeter? Like what kind of fence?
you have an answer on that? I mean, we're open to suggestions on how that fencing is to look. Working through what's required by the code.
No, yeah, okay.
But that hasn't been a major topic in conversation so far with staff.
Was it masonry fence that was noted in the memo for engineering? Because I know right now existing it's a chain link. Like what's there in
I'm
place?
not sure that we're planning on keeping the chain link.
Yeah, we won't.
That's an improvement.
But yeah, as mentioned, we'll work with the pipeline companies. We definitely want to have that area dressed up and make sure that it's nice and presentable. For the entry to the
There's so much.
I know, there's a lot. Brian, can I get you to come back up really quick? Sorry, we're going back to traffic. For the right turn, and this is off of 2700 East onto South Weaver Drive, is there a section of the property that is being utilized to create that lane? That third lane?
The new right turn.
The
lane.
new right turn lane?
Yes.
How far back does that go? How many feet? Car lengths. I'll take any measurements. Oh, no, you're good.
Let me show it in this one. Little too much.
Apologies that I have to measure it with a pen, if I can guess what you're maybe working towards.
Because I know it's keeping basically the 2 lanes when you're turning off of South Weaver Drive, those are staying consistent. Actually, there's only a single lane when you make a left-hand turn off of South Weaver Drive. So where's that second lane? Where's the property coming from? Because we can't move into Maverick's property. How are we getting 2 lanes on 2700 East on the southbound? Am I not reading that right?
These 2 lanes.
So there's enough with
2 cars?
2 lanes. Yeah. You can kind of see it on the plan, like where the median is drawn down the dotted line.
Right now, there's just a single lane.
There's also right of way mitigation on our property.
Okay.
So, hard to see, there's a dotted line that runs.
This one right here?
Yep. So that would be right of way mitigation. I would assume would assist in shifting everything over, and then you have an approved volume.
Because everything's apparently shifting this way.
Because we also submitted a plan.
Because Maverick
that
sidewalks
showed
are right here.
6 lanes in receiving lanes and made sure that we weren't constructing anything that would preclude that future improvement.
How does that work?
So we're talking about, I think what she's asking, and I have the same question is, so if we're talking about coming off of South Weaver Drive heading south, are we talking about the lane right now? There's 2 lanes coming to the north, one that turns right and one that can go straight or left. So are we talking about taking access one of those lanes out to widen it?
The
Or
new
what?
right turn lane that we're building, yeah, comes out of.
Right
This
here.
comes out of their property, but I'm talking about this lane coming in here. There is a single lane right now that goes up 2700.
Right.
how do you have the space if that one's designated as 16.34 feet?
And that's what
And
I'm
that's
saying. We're
12
gonna
foot.
take it into this and get rid of that. That's what I'm asking.
I don't know. How does that all fit? Because right now you have one lane that you turn into onto 2700 East to then head southbound. There's not two lanes there.
She's concerned about this one right here.
Yeah.
Are we seeing it?
Yeah. We're only taking
Yeah.
from our site to
Mhm.
accommodate the width. And you can see that this would accommodate two cars. That's where we're setting the median and then the lanes are being built.
So
That's all-
everything's shifting
Yeah, that's all. coming
into-
Our,
Into your easement.
into our, into our easement. And then, and what I was saying before is we contemplated if in the future UDOT ever wants to build these two lanes and come this way, we designed all of this to be pushed far enough up that it could accommodate that. Cause obviously if UDOT's gonna come and build this, we don't wanna have to tear up tanks or,
Move things around.
move things around. So we've accommodated it, so for if and when that improvement is necessary.
And pushed it into the interior.
Correct.
Because that's with the new right-hand turn lane off of 2700 heading north, turning right. That would then just free flow right into the one of the two lanes heading. Okay.
And you can imagine, that's a pretty, we have a nice long right turn lane, right turn on red. Those typically flow pretty well. Whereas right now you have two lanes out there.
Because all of the existing curb and gutter that is in place right now, that is all going to be torn out in order to
Yeah,
accommodate
we
that.
have to, we have to
Okay.
work with UDOT and coming back to the crosswalk
Mhm.
conversation. We still have to work with UDOT too, because there's no like pedestrian push button for
Nothing.
this crosswalk that we have to work with UDOT to make sure we're up on standards. So there'll be a signal modification that would get submitted. And also, to UDOT standards for this lane, tying back into South Weaver's right away.
Okay.
So, we'll
Thank
work
you.
with them.
I think I got all of them stuff.
One of the concerns in the memorandum was fire hydrants close enough plus fire sprinkling system. We addressed that, Lance, or do we need to add a fire hydrant?
Yeah, they do. They need to figure that out.
Okay, they'll figure that out with
That would be,
okay.
that's, yeah.
Anything back?
My heartburn is the amount of stuff that's still kind of in the air and what to recommend to city council.
I agree. I have a page of conditions, and I don't think it's fair to approve it with the conditions and not knowing if they're enforceable. This is why we need Jamie and Brandon. They get demerits for not being here. Because then Brandon can address the items in his engineering memo, because there was a lot in that engineering memo.
Yeah.
It seems like it was discussed, but it wasn't fully vetted. And not to say that you guys haven't been working on this and haven't given it your time. It's just in terms of making it solid and understood and very clear and concise in terms of how it's going to go forward. I'm going to throw out the signage is a big one for me. That's a condition. If approval goes through, it has to have the condition that the signage has to be addressed to minimize the impacts on the surrounding community. I know most of the lighting, and you guys did include in the packet, the lighting that just looks like a bunch of dots until you zoom in and then you can see just how intense it is. I don't know what can be done, especially along the more southern portion where it's the diesel, to maybe dim those lights in the evening time. Obviously you want people to see where your store and the pumps and everything is located for safety, but I'm concerned about the impacts to the residents. I know it has nothing to do with the property across from you that has yet to be developed. There's been so many proposals on that property, both a mixture of commercial, a mixture of residential, a mixture of both. What's going to be the best fit there? I don't know. If it's residences, heartburn. Then they share in what the existing residents are going to have to deal with. I also know it's a permitted use according to our code. And so how do we address it? Jeremy, you're laughing. This is coming to you, buddy.
Traffic and median's my biggest.
Traffic medians, the flow, the impacts, the loading, and as much as I like to say, let's just focus on your impacts and your flow, it does impact the existing businesses. And I appreciated the comments about, we have businesses that address a lot of what you guys are bringing. We want them to be successful. We would want anything that comes in here to also be successful. So is there enough business without the negative influences? I would be very curious to know about the safety from a sheriff, like Davis County Sheriff. I know we've had a lot of problems at Maverick. So is this now going to just expand those issues? How do we address that? It's a concern.
I do want to speak to
Yeah.
the concern that you have about businesses. Is there enough traffic flow? Is there enough business to keep us sustaining? I mean, we're investing a significant amount of capital into this project.
Mhm.
We don't normally invest any capital into a project unless we think it will do well. We're not contingent about anybody else going out of business. We're contingent upon what exists today.
Mhm.
So we're investing over $12 million into this project, if not more.
Million or billion?
Million.
Million. I wanted to clarify.
No, that would be a little unrealistic. for us to- us to do
They
that,
have some
but-
deep pockets.
But we are investing this in because we are confident that your city can direct traffic. We also are new to this community. We want to be good neighbors. In good faith, we also want time to fix a majority of the concerns, or at least what is we're able to fix what's in our control. So if that requires a continuance, we would like that as well. If you want to do a conditional approval, that'd be awesome as well, because there's a lot of engineering items that we will not be able to address until after we go to city council, which unfortunately, no matter what we do, we can't address them. Because we'll get approval before we can grow with them.
Okay.
Hopefully that punches some of your fears, and like I said, we want to be good.
I like option number 3 now.
So to be clear, if we continue it, it does not go to city council.
It comes back to us. We have to debate
Or next time.
next meeting.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
I kind of fall here with conditions.
Do you have specific ones
Yeah, that roundabout. Just solving
around that issue?
solving, I'm trying to figure out how that works, and that's my only, I just wanted to say, is this your 18th state now? It said 17 states on your webpage. So I don't know if this is the 18th, but
It depends on when the Marriott site.
yeah, I just wanted to say it was a good presentation. I appreciate, I just have a question on that coming out of Maverick with the median. That's like my biggest hang up personally.
And median, we just explained the dimensions, like how, is it a 6-inch? Is it on the median? Is it a raised barrier at all?
Yeah, it'd be a raised, yeah.
How tall, what are the dimensions? Is it one where if you're not gonna high center over it? We're not gonna have posts or poles or anything sticking, like what's the expectation for the
The
median?
expectation is you don't drive over. I'm confused. Yeah. Why are you asking these questions?
You're in a
I'm not worried about my kids. They're not in South Weaver anymore.
She's not about her.
No, I'm just, if you think about what has gone along for perspective along, I remember my roads.
93.
Thank you. 193 in front of Hill Air Force Base. Used to be just turning lanes. You could do what you wanted, free for all. Now it is a median controlled lane with posts. Thanks for keeping my hands down, so I'm not making any gestures. So which is the entire length of the road. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I think so.
You were giving me a look like it was crazy. I'm like,
Well, no, I'm just saying, I think.
is that the
the-
intention, or is it just gonna be like the cement raised median painted, obviously, so hopefully people see it until it gets buried in snow?
I'm not sure what it would be. It would be a substantial median so that would prevent
Hopefully
left
people
turns.
wouldn't just drive over it and think,
Well, I can't prevent
Takes
everybody, but
South Weaver Drive from 89, they just drive over the median, so we put the little post up there.
and I think if it became an issue that people were crossing the median, we would have to address it.
Okay.
if that becomes an
address.
issue.
At this point, is there any other questions, any other discussion points that people want to bring up? Because if not, then we're at the point where I think it's a motion.
Good luck.
I'll go. I'm,
Okay.
I'm gonna make a motion to continue to our February planning commission date, to give the developer time to address the multiple points of discussion tonight, and maybe provide additional clarification on those items. You want me to spell them out? I will,
Yes.
but if that's sufficient,
Well, I think
Leave it at
this
that.
5-page memorandum does a lot of them.
Yep.
Yeah.
and going back over the engineering, memo that Brandon Jones, and again, I wish he was here tonight because he probably could have talked about all of those things. Just making sure that they are checked off, buttoned up, and tight. So that's my motion.
I'm,
Can I
go ahead.
just to clarify,
Yes.
I think in addition to Brandon's engineering memo, and I think it's in there a little bit, but I think you want to reemphasize that at least the items I've heard that are a little go above and beyond that, the traffic pattern and the median detail, the sign location being relocated, which I think the applicant was fine with, looking in more detailed at the lighting levels, specifically to the south and closer to the residential.
crosswalk.
And the roundabout and the crosswalks.
The roundabouts, the crossings,
And the landscape.
and the landscaping with the easements. I think that's sufficient.
What was the landscaping issue?
With the easement on that far side, they said they have a better.
Just
plan.
clarify what the,
Yeah,
what's
the
going
plan
on.
is, Yeah.
People like that captures everything that Lance just
We
said.
have, do we all have to approve on this one since it's 3 or
Yep.
just 2?
Michelle, did you
I-
catch everything? Hold, I want to make sure she got everything,
Mm.
and if she needs any clarification.
Um,
the number of diesel?
What is,
Okay, on that one, because I understand why.
so specific, so do you want me to just generalize, Brandon's memo? What, are there specific things on that memo that you need completed prior to your meeting? Because there's a
I
list.
think kind of what Lance just listed off, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, so, but I would interpret what you said as
You got
all the items on
pretty
Brandon's
close.
list need to be addressed
Okay,
and prior to the meeting. And with specific attention to the traffic medians, the sign location,
The lighting.
lighting levels,
The crosswalk.
the
energy,
crosswalk details,
And then the
uh,
landscaping,
the landscaping on the easement.
but I think that was everything.
Between his memo and those statements, I think
Yes.
those are re-emphasizing the same things,
Yes.
but
Probably.
except for the sign, but.
Well, and it's just because it said I had to give reasons why I was saying to continue it to the next meeting. So those are
Yes.
the reasons.
And the meeting would be February 12th.
February 12th. So would you like to make a final, hold on, one quick, because we have a motion that's on the table. Michelle, as long as you're good.
I think I've got them, but I'll make sure I have
Okay.
them.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, and then roll call vote, starting with Commissioner Dopp.
So you're approving the continuation. That's
Just the
basically-
continuation.
Yep, so do I need to state that?
It's either yes or no. You just say yes or no.
Yes.
Yes, I'm a yes.
Yes.
Okay, so we will see you guys February 12th.
Thank you. I just wanted to, just quickly address, there are some elements within that engineering report that don't necessarily pertain to the site and, some of these concerns.
With the roundabout.
That are more so, associated with some of the technical engineering aspects, such as like the drainage report. There was elements associated with amendment of the plat.
Mhm.
Obviously, that wouldn't be something that we would do before coming back, but it is within the engineering memo, so.
And
I
that's,
just wanted to get some clarity with associations to those items. 'Cause I understand that there's definitely some items that you guys want us to clarify, but there's something that wouldn't make sense to address.
to you guys. And I
But-
do think, Lance, that's where you're gonna know which items are gonna be kind of like a city, because did we separate that parcel into two parcels before when it was it is right now.
And
It's
that's
not one
recommended that they put to one.
that's put
what
together.
he's
So that's
thinking.
obviously a city that we need to have that noted. So by next. week.
Correct. And I think that they will do their best to address all these items. Maybe their answer is,
can't.
we will amend that plat prior to any building permits being issued. That would be
That's the.
That's fine.
the
so they would still be allowed to respond.
Yes.
Maybe they don't have the exact answer or, you know, it's fixed.
Or they can't
Maybe
do it until
we
they-
will do that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, there's some items are that do say need approval before building
Yeah.
permit or whatnot.
I think you're gonna have a better insight into those that are city focused versus developer. So
I think
this is
so.
where trust. Okay, agenda item number 7, thank you for those that have stuck with us. We have to move the planning commission meeting in April. That is on the agenda or on the calendar for April 9th. To April 16th due to a conflict with the court. I guess with the commissioners present, does anybody have any known issues where that would be a problem for you? I think it's early enough in advance. I don't know if anybody's made any cruise vacation plans or anything like that. Just maybe make note of the change. Will that be changed on the website for the meeting schedule?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. And then commission, anybody have anything else they want to say?
I'm sorry, when did you say next meeting was? The 12th?
February 12th.
Is it the 1st?
Is that the right date?
For the next meeting?
Oh, yeah, it's 12.
12.
Okay,
And
It's the second Thursday.
that's the second
second
one.
Thursday.
And so then why, then the April, oh,
Because it's supposed to be,
the 9th. Okay, got it.
why would it, hold, because March, April.
It says it's.
Yeah. Just gotta get to the right
See,
month.
I did the same thing.
Okay, nothing from the commission, so I'm gonna ask for a motion to adjourn.
I motion to adjourn the meeting.
All in favor?
Yes.
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 And thank
Who
you.
seconded it?
Chad, or, not Chad. Brad. Yeah, it's close. Chad Brad. Christie's wife, husband. You're like, nobody was gonna say it.
I was waiting for that.
It's okay, it's unofficial, it's off record.